Rolling. Alright, so first thing you got to do on a production day is check out the equipment. To do that, you bring your ID card to the closet. I suggest you either have your camera person or your grip do this. We're going to talk about the 4 roles here in a minute. But the first things first. I suggest you either have your camera person or your grip. Bring your ID card. You can have 2 people come too, that's fine. More hands keeps it safer. Bring your ID card. I take your ID card, or our TAs will take the ID card. They'll put it on the shelf of the group number you are. If you're in group 1, put it on shelf 1. If you're in group 2, put it on shelf 2. And we'll give you your 4 pieces of equipment. You will get a camera. You will get a tripod. You will get a slate. You will get a pen. Okay? And also you have to show me your screenplay and storyboard, and I have to sign off on it before I give you any of this stuff. Okay? First things first, safety first. Right? Camera's $600, tripod's $50, slate's $3, and the pen is $1. Okay? When I hand you that camera, that's the thing I hand you first, I suggest you put it around your neck. It's going to keep it safe. You can't drop it. It's not going to hit the floor. It's going to be okay. Alright? Also, freeze your hands up to carry other things. Don't carry it by the strap, right? Then it's going to swing around and hit things. You know, carrying it by this is not a very great handhold. It gets cold in the wintertime. Your fingers start to get numb. You drop it, thing gets wet, slippery. Right? 2 years ago, it was on a desk. Instead of grabbing it right, she grabbed it by the strap, picked it up, swung, whack, and hit the leg and cracked the glass on the lens. Right? That's bad. Don't do that. Okay? So, you know, and you got a lot of stuff. You don't want to be trying to, you know, pull one of these, right, walking back to your desk with everyone in motion because everyone's getting up out of their desks. Okay? So if you got 2 people, that makes it really easy. If you're by yourself, every time, around your neck, keeps it safe. Okay? You can keep the tripod, right? Grab it by the legs, nice and strong. Don't grab by the handle, that part can move and then bad things happen. Okay? Grab by the legs, and then you got a free hand for this, and you're off into the races. Okay? Second thing you should do is check the equipment. Make sure it's not broken. Right? Maybe, I don't know, I try to do a good job of always making sure that when people return equipment, I check it over for destruction. But maybe I missed something, and I don't want to blame you for something you didn't do. So if I hand you a camera, and you look it over, you go, Mr. Wolf, this lens is cracked. I'll be like, oh, you didn't do that. Here, let me go charge someone else for that. Right? But if it's broken and you don't notice it, and you go out for an hour, and then you come back to me and it's broken, all I can do is assume that you broke it. Okay? Check it over. Also, make sure you got a memory card. All you got to do is turn the camera on. We'll talk about that in a second. Camera, when you turn it on, it'll tell you if there's a memory card or not, and also check your battery. Especially, you know, you guys are the last class today, so hopefully I've charged the batteries up over the prep period. But you don't want to get all the way out to the back of the backfield and realize you've only got 5 minutes battery life left. That sucks. Then you got to walk all the way back here. Okay? Check your equipment. Make sure it's not broken. Turn it on, because if there's no memory card, it'll tell you no card inserted, and check the battery life. Make sure it's full. Okay? Those are important things to do before you get out on the road. Okay? So now, there's 4 jobs that we've got to deal with, and we're going to kind of do them in columns here. Okay. First job is that camera person. Camera operator. Okay, like I said, I like the camera operator to be the person who comes get the camera, because it makes it their responsibility and it makes life easy. Camera operator, they're gonna, you pick up your gear and then you guys go head out to your location, wherever it is you're gonna shoot. Backfield, pool, front parking lot, I don't know. A couple things we gotta do. We gotta set up the tripod. Okay. Here's our tripod. Best thing, the way to set this up is to keep the legs together and drop the legs out. Thing I see that some people do is they open the legs up first. Now it's a hassle to get these things to open up, right? When I start spinning it around, right, I start whacking people in the face with it, and that's bad. Okay? Best thing you can do, right, you get your tripod, keep the legs collapsed, undo all these locks, right? They're still a little tight because these are only a year old, right? Then you can drop them all out. Boom, boom, boom. Then it's easy, just go around the horn and lock them all up, all 9 of them. 6, 7, 8, 9, Now it stands up. Beautiful. Quick and easy. Didn't hit anyone in the face. Okay. This part here that moves up and down can also lock. I don't ever lock it, but if you want to, see the little padlock icon on here? It's only like a ½ inch twist. Does not move very far. It's got a little arrow. Left is locked. Doesn't move up and down now. Twist it a little bit the other way. Moves up and down now. Okay? So everything on a tripod will lock in some way. So if something's not working, don't force it. See what needs to be unlocked. Alright? Okay, we're doing pretty good so far. We're up tall. So now, there's 3 locks. 1, 2, 3. Right here on the top part. 1, 2, 3. Top lock, 2 twists to the left, and now I can tilt. Okay? 2 twists to the right. No more tilting. I could force it. I mean, any of you guys are strong enough to force it. It's just a little piece of plastic. But it'll hold the camera still. Right? Forcing it is what forces these things to break. So if you are trying to tilt and you're like, right? Just give it 2 to 3 twists to the left. Loosen that up. Okay? You don't have to crank it down to tight it either. You don't have to hit it as hard as you can. Finger tight. Okay? Don't like get it in your fist. Just use the tips of your fingers. As tight as the tips of your fingers will get it. Second one below that, that's your pan lock. Couple twists to the left. I'm panning. Okay? Couple twists to the right. And I'm locked up. Okay? This wheel one here, this is if your tripod's too short, right? If you're trying to shoot me, I'm pretty tall. Give this a couple twists to the left. Move this up. Woo. So this spins, right? This thing spins. So make sure that's out of the way. Right? Pull that up to the top, lock it down, and now it's tall, right? The camera will be up here. That's pretty much the same height as me. Close enough. Okay? This is the piece that breaks most often. Right here. Because what you can do is once you loosen this, you can do something like this, right? To lower it. It's a little shaky. But you can raise it and lower it like this, right? Get it to go up and down. And what happens is people leave this wheel lock locked, so this doesn't want to move, and then they try and twist this. And this is a really flimsy piece of plastic, and that snaps off. I think about half of them have this already broken, but it's like not really essential, so I don't bother replacing it. And you saw when I did it, right? Because I just like to lift the whole thing up and down, but then this thing spins. So if it's kind of closed, it might start whacking the thing, you know. So just be careful when you go right up and down to get the camera the right height that you need. Okay, lock that down. One that sometimes comes loose, but you never need to adjust. You could adjust this handle to point a different direction with the front, right? I can have the handle point up and then lock that front again, but I don't. Just leave that alone, please. Let's just have it point down like normal people and just leave it there. Keep that thing tight. Okay. For some reason last year, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they were like spacing out and they were sitting there twisting forever and ever and ever, because it takes a lot of twists, 15, 16, 17, 18, to get this to come out. But one of these came back without it last year, and I had to buy a new one for $3, and plus shipping from New Jersey, right? But what is wrong with your life that you're sitting here twisting this thing 18 times? Okay, it doesn't make it tilt any faster than just untwisting it twice. Okay, so please don't lose me any more tilt locks. Okay, so tripod set up, beautiful, perfect. Now, second thing my camera person's got to do: set up the camera. Camera's pretty easy. I'm going to get these in your hands in the last 10 minutes of class so you can see it up close, because I know it's kind of hard to see from far away. Let's see here. Let's turn it on so you guys can see the screen too. So everything's pretty accessible from your right hand, right? It's meant to be held in your right hand with the grip. On the top, there's this little flip switch that says on and off. You flip it up, and it wakes up, turns on. And we'll get it up here on the screen here in a second. Flip it down, turns off. It could be on. If you don't record anything for 5 minutes, it'll automatically shut off. You just need to cycle off and back on again to wake it back up. Here we are. Okay. This big dial here, this is the mode selector dial, and there's only one mode that shoots movies. Because really these are still cameras that we're repurposing to shoot video because it's got great image quality. So if you turn this dial to any other thing, right, the video goes away. And right, it's all these different icons. It's like a face or a mountain or a flower or whatever, right? I don't know, P and M and all these other things. But only one shoots movies, and there's only one that shows you the world, and that is the little movie camera icon. And that's what it looks like on here. So don't ever touch that, just leave that alone. If you're like waking up and I don't see anything, Right, it's probably that mode dial has been switched. Okay, so we just leave it on that. To record a movie, right next to the viewfinder, there's a button with a little red dot next to it. I push that, and you see my screen changes right. I got the red dot, numbers scrolling. We are recording right now. This is being recorded forever. Okay, same thing. You want to stop recording? Push that same button. Right, numbers stop flying. Red dot goes away. All the information comes back. Okay, so we turn it on, push record. Pretty simple. The other thing that is the responsibility of the camera person is the focus. Right? We've got to make sure our shots are in focus. I don't know if you guys saw DVTV the other day with Coach Hub. Out of focus. Get me mad. And getting the camera in the tripod, that's kind of important. That's how that one girl lost $250 a couple years ago. So in the tripod, there's a little pin that's holding this lever open. This lever wants to be closed. It's spring-loaded. It wants to be closed. But the pin is holding it open. And when I take this rectangle here on the bottom, the shoe of the camera, and slip it under, you kind of go in diagonal, get under the lip, and then push down, that lever's going to snap closed. And now, give it a test, right? Not going anywhere. Okay? And then to get it off, right, keep the hammer in your hand, pull that lever open with your thumb, and take it out. And the lever stays open because that pin's holding it in place. So we'll be sure to be very careful with that step on Tuesday when we're shooting. Okay, camera people, right? Get that camera in there. Make sure it's secure. Give it a couple test shakes. Make sure it doesn't come out. Because when that girl didn't seat it in there and she went for the tilt, and that camera went forward, that's a bad day. All right? Okay, so the last thing we got to worry about is the focus. We got two ways of doing that. Okay, so here is my little ceramic jar, right? Out of focus, not looking good. On the lens, you can choose, it's right here next to the body. It says AF for autofocus or MF for manual focus. Okay? AF for autofocus, MF for manual focus. So right now I'm in autofocus. I point at whatever I want. And then I could, like I'm going to take a still picture, kind of lightly half press that still photo button, and the camera's going to get to work. There it is. Beep, beep. Okay, so and then it beep, beep, and turns green, and it's telling me that's in focus. Sienna, can you give me a battery, please? Battery for this? It's dying. Not your crazy weird one that makes cameras die either. So you can do an autofocus, right? My camera's in AF. I can't twist this front focus ring because it's in autofocus, so it's locked. Right? I can go to something else. These guys here, hold my button halfway down. It's working, it's working, it's working. Beep. Okay, got it. It's in focus. Perfect. Okay. I don't really trust cameras that much, so I use manual focus for most of my shots. No, I think it's the other one. I think it's 1, not 1A. That's bad. I think. Because I've been using that the last 2 days. It's always been good to me. Because let's say I'm getting a shot of you guys, right? And it's going to choose what it wants to manual to autofocus on, right? And it may have focused on you, but maybe I want the focus up here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to manual focus, and now I'm in charge of focusing. So I can focus on the jar or the flag, right? And what I want to do to get that is I want to zoom in to whatever object I want to focus on. I can even do a tighter zoom. There's a little zoom magnifying plus button back here, so I can get right on this thing. Right? And I can get that focus to be absolutely crystal clear and then zoom back out, and I know that that jar is in focus. Okay, or let's see here. Who else can we get up here? We can get like Kumiko up here, right? Zoom into her. Get that focus, right? It's way off, so I gotta adjust my focus until we find her. Okay, get that focus locked in sharp, and come back out and get my shot. Okay, so whenever you want to get focused on something manually, zoom all the way in on it, not dolly, right? Because focus is a measure of distance. So if I dolly, it changes that focus point. So I zoom all the way into that subject, get my focus, then I can zoom out, get whatever framing I want, and I know it's going to be in focus and perfect. You'll see this sometimes on TV if the director does something wrong, the guy in the big switchboard uses the wrong camera at the wrong time on a sports game. Like baseball, between every pitch, that main camera guy is zooming all the way into second base, getting his focus, and then zooming back out. And if the ball gets hit, he's got to track the ball to right field, he's doing all these things. So after that, he resets it, go to second base, get the focus, come out. I mean, when I'm in the control room and I've got all these cameras, you're just seeing all these camera guys constantly checking their focus, zooming into the batter, all the way into his belt buckle or his eyes, getting that focus, and then coming back out. So every time you shoot, every shot you shoot, get your focus on your character's eyes. Okay, we're going to get real comfortable with people, right? Zooming right into their eyes, get that focus. Okay, because bad focus kills a shot. Killed that Coach Hubbard interview. They were focused. I bet you the camera auto-focused on the room behind them instead of Coach, is what happened. Okay, so those are your jobs as a camera person. So I got my focus. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Ready to start shooting. Ready to push record. Okay. Second job. Second job we got is the grip. Grip is the hands, right? You can have them carry props. You can have them carry the boom. You can have them operate a boom mic if you're shooting a scene with a boom mic. Thinking about getting a class set of boom mics. Not broom. Boom. B-O-O-M. Boom mic. We got those big light reflectors, right? Those big silver and gold circles to bounce light around, right? They can hold the light reflector. Or they might just be crowd control. Right? If you're shooting some at lunch or after school and you got people crossing in front of your shot, right? You might have them just out of the shot, just telling people to hold up for 20 seconds while you get your shot. Okay? Or let's say we got a shot where a character is going to answer the phone and be told they won the lottery, and I'm going to have all this money rain down on them, right? My grip is going to be the person who's just out of the shot throwing the money down. So, right, you see fake snow in the movies, right? There's the guys up on the ladders dropping all the fake snow on them. Okay, those are grips. They're there, they're hands. They hold things, they move things, they're labor. Okay? So if you're not operating the camera, you're not the actor, you're not the director, you're a grip. So hold the props, hold things, carry things, run crowd control, help your group out any way you can. Okay? Next job is actors. Actors, while camera guys getting the camera from the closet, you should probably get into costume. Okay? Even if your movie doesn't have a costume, let's say we're just shooting a movie about a high school kid, right? And I'm wearing this today, khakis and Deer Valley shirt. When we shoot again on Tuesday, I need to be wearing the same thing, right? I can't have half my movie, like I'm sitting at my desk, taking a test and this, and then all of a sudden we cut and we come back, I'm wearing different clothes. That's not going to work. Okay? So you need to take a picture of what you're wearing, go home, wash it, bring it back. Just bring it back stinky, whatever. If you want, I could wear this to school and then change into a different set of clothes to shoot. Don't have anything for you.
Were you able to do it online?
No, I'm going to try it because the computers are all being used.
Okay.
So I'm probably just going to do them on paper next week.
Okay, yeah, let's get it done
Yeah,
so I can get it. Great, thank you.
And my classes have kind of settled out finally, like everything's
Oh, okay.
okay, so, or, right, you don't want to just wear your regular clothes. You can bring a second set of regular clothes, change into them, and then keep them here over the weekend. Keep them here so you don't have to remember to bring them back. Okay? Put them in the closet, lock them up, and then just have them here so you can change into them and make life easy. Okay? Because we don't want to have all these weird cuts where all of a sudden I'm wearing a white shirt and then I'm wearing a black shirt even though I just turned a corner. Okay? So actors, you got to be responsible for your costume. Second thing you got to be responsible for once you're acting is your volume. Okay? Our cameras, until I get that class set of boom mics, don't have the greatest microphones. It's 4 teeny tiny holes right here. Right? Again, these are still cameras that we're kind of pressing into service as video cameras. They're not really meant to pick up audio. So you got to push your volume. You got to speak loudly like you're on stage, like you're speaking like me right now. I have movies every year. Right? We'll shoot two guys at the desk having a conversation. They go, action. They go, so dude, you going to that party? This week?
I'm not going to.
I'll see you there. And I'm like, I can barely hear you in real life. I know it's kind of like embarrassing to be acting or whatever, but get over it. We're all going to act, just speak loudly. The other thing is, when we edit, I can always turn your volume down. Easy. But to turn your volume up, introduces noise, static, bad quality, the air conditioning, which runs 24/7 in here, though it doesn't feel like it today, right? The air conditioning is going to get louder, background noises get louder. The computer doesn't know the difference between your voice and a tractor, right? It's going to boost it all. So it's better for you to be too loud, and then I can tone you down. Okay? So actors, be loud. They go action, and they go, oh man, you went that party today. And the director goes cut, and they go, oh man, that was the best take ever. I'm like, why are you so loud now? Like, be loud when they say action, not after they say cut. Let's see here. Other things actors want to do. They want to give some variation in their scenes. When we shoot our movies, we're going to do 2 takes, two attempts at every shot. Right? You always want to do 2 takes because maybe that first take, right? 2 takes for safety, we used to say. Because maybe you think you nailed it. Oh, perfect. But you didn't see the dude from some other class way out in the back room giving your camera the double bird. Or you didn't hear the helicopter going over and that's ruining your shot. Or whatever it is, right? Sometimes things ruin your shot that you might not take into account. So you always want to get things twice. Now, if you nail that first take, let's do another one, but let's give it some variation. Right? So maybe I'm an exasperated kid in the first take. It's right? Maybe the second take, right? At the end of the time, right? Just change it up a little bit. There's no point if you've got the scene perfect already in doing it the exact same way. Right? The whole point is to give your editor options so that when they're looking at it, they can say, okay, do I like when he puts both hands on his face or do I like the loud sigh better, right? Which one tells our story better? So actors, you gotta, once you nail that scene, okay, let's do it again, let's change it up a little bit. How can we play it different? Right? And that's how sometimes you get those variations from screenplay that end up being better. Okay? And the last thing actors you do is to go big. Okay? I see a lot of actors who try to get by on subtlety, or I don't know, they're embarrassed or what, right? The first movie we're going to shoot the chase, at the end, our character gets caught by this stalker. The shot, the storyboard says, close up, jogger is terrified. And I have had movies where it's this close up, the guy looks up, and he goes, I'm like, you're not terrified, you're slightly intrigued. Like, come on, like, be, like, you gotta scream, you gotta go big. Like, you can't just go, I've had that. Right? Yeah, go big, right? In Indiana Jones, when the dude, like, what does he do? When they spring the trap and the spikes come up, right, like that, or when they're melting their faces off in the climax, right? Those guys are losing their minds. Okay? Don't try to get by in your subtlety. Like, if it says be sad, don't try to shed one tear. Like, really sad. Okay? Go big with it. Okay? We can work on subtlety later. Let's start off big, and we'll go from there. Okay? And that brings us to our last job, the biggest job. The director. The director is in charge of the screenplay, the 3 S's, the screenplay, the storyboard, and the slate. So, we get out there, right? My actor's in costume, grip's ready, he's holding the money to throw on my actor. Camera guy knows the deal, right? Or he's all set up. He's got his camera all set up, ready to go. So I'm the director, and I got my storyboard, and I say, okay, here's what we drew out. So what's going to happen is the actor's going to walk in, sit down. Camera guy, you're going to pan with him as he sits down. Actor, once you sit, you're going to answer your phone, say, I won the lottery, and then grip, you're going to shower him with money. So the director's getting everyone on the same page. They're interpreting that storyboard, right, back to reality. Okay, it says pan right, so camera guy, right, draw, it's a medium shot, make it look like this. Actor, right, come over here and then get real excited, right, grip, once he says he's won the lottery, throw the money. So you're coordinating all these other people, all right, using that storyboard. Okay, now on the storyboard, let's say this shot of the money throwing in the, on the phone, let's say on our storyboard that's shot number 8. So what I'm going to do on my slate is I'm going to write shot 8. This is attempt number 1, so it's take 1. I'm the director. My camera person is named Jen. There we go, just because that will fit. So you're in charge of giving the calls. And here's how the calls go. And this is the process that we're going to be practicing. I'm going to move slate over here. That we're going to be practicing on Tuesday. So the first thing you need to do is to stand in the shot. This is going to be a long list of things. So I'm the director. I've told everyone what to do. Camera guy knows what they're doing. Actor and grip, they all know what they're doing. So here we go. We're ready to go. First thing I'm going to do as a director is I'm going to stand right in the middle of the shot. Okay, I got my slate. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, stand by. Oops. This is the call for everyone to get quiet and get ready. And it means not only your group get quiet, it means everyone around you get quiet. Okay? If you're shooting a scene in here, you know, a movie of Sienna editing or whatever, and I say stand by, I expect all y'all to get quiet no matter what you're doing. It's only going to take 5 seconds. Because I guarantee you at some point in this year, each and every one of you is going to be shooting a scene in this room and say stand by, and you're going to want everyone else to get quiet for you. So get quiet for them so they get quiet for you when it's your turn to yell stand by in here. Because everyone's going to shoot a movie in here at some point in this room. Okay? So when you hear stand by, just pause what you're doing for 2 seconds. It's not going to take that long to run the scene. Just pause what you're doing. I've had the principal in here. I had a kid stay stand by. I was like, oh, hold up, Mr. Gardner. I'll just stop exactly what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. Just wait. Cool. Okay? Because you want that courtesy extended to you when it's your movie. You don't want people talking in the background of your movie. Okay? So, standing in the shot. Say, stand by, everybody. Get ready. Next thing I do is I say, roll it. Which is the short way of saying, Mr. Camera Person or Mr. or Mrs. Camera Person, could you please and kindly record this scene, right? But we say roll it because time is money. Okay? So this is asking the camera person to roll it. So what's going to happen, I'm going to put the camera person's jobs in purple. The camera person is going to push record at that moment when they say roll it. Okay, push record. Boop. When they push record, camera person needs to make sure that these numbers right here are moving. Camera person, check the numbers. Because what happens is I've had some lazy camera people over the years, right? Director standing in there, they say, stand by, roll it. And the camera person thinks they push the button or they push something different. They don't check it, they go, rolling. Yeah, we're good, we're recording. And the actors do the scene, and then we're done. The director says cut, and he says, okay, cut. And then he stops it, but he's really started it. And then they go out and they start picking up. Okay, let's go to shoot our next scene. And they're walking, and I get a recording of their whole walk over to their next location. They're talking about whatever. Oh man, you see Mr. Wolf looking so good, right? Whatever it is. There you. And then then they get to their scene, and the director's like, all right, everyone ready? All right, stand by, roll it. And they go, all right, yeah, we're rolling. And they've stopped recording. They do the great scene, doesn't get recorded, and then cut. And basically, they get an hour of them walking between scenes and none of the footage they want. Once a year. Guaranteed it happens once a year. Every time. Someone will lose shots because of this problem. Okay? So I cannot stress to you enough. When you push record, camera person, make sure the numbers are rolling. And once you are sure that those numbers are increasing, you can then tell your director, yes, I'm rolling. Okay, so I stood in. So stand by, everybody. Roll it, camera guy. You push the button. Check the numbers. They're moving. So he says, rolling. So at that point, the director can then give the scene and take numbers. Or shot. Why do I keep saying scenes? Shot. Shot and take numbers. Okay, and we have those written on the board, right? The shot corresponds to the shot in the storyboard. And the take corresponds to how many tries this is. This is our first try. So it's take one. Okay, so I'm in here. I said, stand by, roll it. You push the button, you check it. Rolling. All right, okay, this is shot 8, take 1. Okay, once I give the scene and take numbers, I'm going to step out. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 in my head. All right, so I said, this is shot 8, take 1. Step out of the shot. Count 1, 2, 3 in my head. And then I say, action. Now, that's when my actor is going to begin walking. My camera person is going to begin panning with them. Actor's going to sit down. They're going to answer the phone. What? I won the lottery? Grip throws all the money on them. They freak out. Right? That's the acting portion. So we'll do that in green. That's where all the good stuff happens. Right? Right here. We act. Everything goes smoothly, right? Camera guy did a perfect job moving along with them. Actor did great. Grip did great. Then I can call cut. Right? Only director calls cut. No one else gets to call cut. And when they say cut, your camera person can push record again to stop the recording. Boop. And that is the process that we're going to go through 1,000 times this year every time we shoot a shot for our movies. Because each one of these steps is designed to save you from a problem in one way or another. Okay? The reason that you stand in before you do anything else is so that way, when you're done shooting your movie and you have all these shots on the computer, you can see the little thumbnails of the shots, right? The little images. The image it pulls is the first frame. So that way you can just look at all your shots and you can see the slates, and it's really easy to know, oh, this file is shot 9. Oh, this file is shot 12. This file is shot 15. Or heck, it might be shot 60, shot 70. Okay? So that way it's really easy for you to jump around and find the file you need. It's not a lot of hunting and, okay, is it this one? And you got to scrub through it and jump to them. Oh, no, it's not that one. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. And that's just wasted time. Time is money. Okay? So we do this so that when we get into the editing phase, we can see these on the computer, in the editing program or just on the computer. And this is the very first thing we're going to see in every shot. And it makes it so easy to identify which shot and find them. Okay? So that's why we stand in right away. Right? Standby gets everyone quiet so the audio is not ruined. Got to tell them to roll it. We saw the Sony Bravia making up, right? That one guy goes, stand by. He says, turn over, because they're using real film that actually turns. So he says, turn over. Then the camera guy says, speed, which means he's checking, because he needs up to speed. It's actual film. So they're doing the same thing. They're yelling, stand by, turn over, speed. We're yelling, stand by, roll it, check the numbers and say rolling, right? We want to check that, so that way we don't end up recording nonsense all day long. Give that shot and take number. Now, one thing I've seen people doing is they try to get this thing like right here, right? But then the focus is off, and you're kind of they do this, right? Just put it on whatever you're shooting. If you know you're shooting a person sitting at the desk, right? Put it there because you know that's where the focus is going to be. If I'm getting a close up of the jar, put it on the jar. Actors in Hollywood are used to having the slates right on their face all the time, and that's where the joke came from when the ones that used to click, right? This one it broke, but they catch them in the nose when they click it because they'd be too close. Okay, so get this in there. The reason we want to step out and count to 3 is because I have some years where people are in here and they go, all right, this is shot 8, take 1, action. And then they walk out. Okay? The word action means that this scene is beginning now. Right? I can't call action while I'm standing here. That would mean I'm in the scene. Right? We just watched 900 shots of Indiana Jones. There's no slates in that whole movie. Okay? Step out. The other reason this is going to help you step out and count to 3 is because when you put a transition on a clip, like a cross dissolve or a wipe or something, it effectively makes that clip longer. It begins sooner because it's cross dissolving from the previous clip. And sometimes you'll see slates sneak in there because they're getting right up to that moment of action, right? They're setting that moment. So if you give yourself some breathing room, some padding, some cushion on the front and back